Did you know that a heavily outnumbered African army once crushed a European colonial power, halting their expansion for decades? This is not the story of defeat and subjugation that often dominates narratives of African history. This is the story of African resistance, ingenuity, and triumph against seemingly insurmountable odds. We delve into the heart of Africa's battle history, revealing the unsung victories that shaped the continent. Today, we journey through time to witness pivotal clashes where African forces stood their ground, defying expectations and altering the course of history. Our first stop takes us to the rugged highlands of Ethiopia, where on March 1, 1896, the Battle of Adwa unfolded. Here, Emperor Menelik II, alongside the indomitable Empress Tetu, led their Ethiopian forces against the invading Italian army. The scale of the Ethiopian victory was astonishing. Menelik II mobilized a force of around 100,000 troops. Crucially, 80,000 of these warriors were armed with modern rifles, a fact often overlooked. This was not a clash of spears against guns. It was a battle where Ethiopian firepower met and surpassed Italian arms. The Italians, numbering around 17,700 under the command of General Oreste Baratieri, were decisively defeated. The Italians suffered over 6,000 casualties, a combination of dead, wounded, and missing. Ethiopian losses, while significant, were estimated between 4,000 and 7,000. Adwa was more than just a military victory. It shattered the myth of European invincibility and secured Ethiopia's independence, making it one of the few African nations to resist colonial rule successfully. Menelik's shrewd diplomacy and arms acquisition, securing cannons and rifles from France and Russia, played a pivotal role. Empress Tetu's leadership also ensured the health and well-being of the troops via field hospitals. The victory reverberated across the continent, inspiring Pan-African movements and becoming a symbol of resistance against oppression. From the highlands of Ethiopia, we travel south to the rolling hills of Zululand, South Africa, to witness the Battle of Isanwena. On January 22, 1879, the Zulu impis, under the leadership of King Setshwell Kompand, clashed with British forces. The British, confident in their superior weaponry, underestimated the Zulu warriors. The Zulu army, numbering around 20,000, employed the classic bullhorn encirclement tactic, honed by the legendary Shaka Zulu. The British force of approximately 1,800 troops, primarily from the 24th Regiment of Foot, was utterly annihilated. British casualties amounted to a staggering 1,329 dead, including 21 officers. Zulu losses were significant, estimated between 1,000 and 3,000, but the victory was decisive. Several factors contributed to the Zulu triumph. The British faced ammunition shortages and logistical challenges. The intense heat caused rifles to jam, adding to the chaos. Zulu scouts had carefully monitored British movements, exploiting a critical 20-mile gap in their lines. Isanwena sent shockwaves through the British Empire. It shattered the illusion of easy colonial conquest and demonstrated the fighting prowess of the Zulu nation. The victory, however, was short-lived. The British reinforcements arrived, and the Anglo-Zulu War ultimately ended in British victory at Ulandi. But Isanwena remains a powerful symbol of Zulu resistance and a testament to their military skill. Our journey continues to Basutoland, modern Lesotho, where the Gun War of 1880 to 1881 unfolded. Here, the Basotho people, under the leadership of King Moshoeshoe II, fiercely resisted the encroachment of the Cape Colony forces. The Basotho, skilled horsemen and marksmen, had acquired a significant number of modern firearms through trade with the Boers. This gave them a distinct advantage over the Cape Colony troops. A key engagement occurred in November 1880 at Mafeking. Here, 1,400 Basotho gunmen routed a force of 2,400 Cape troops. The Basotho, armed with Snider Enfield rifles, could fire with accuracy and speed. The Cape forces, suffering over 200 casualties, were forced to withdraw. The Basotho casualties were minimal, estimated at around 50. The gun war demonstrated the effectiveness of a well-armed and determined resistance. The Basotho's skillful use of firearms and knowledge of the terrain enabled them to hold off a superior force. The conflict ultimately led to Basutoland becoming a British protectorate, preserving its autonomy amidst the turbulent political landscape of Southern Africa. From Southern Africa, we turn our attention to the Horn of Africa, specifically to the Battle of Shire in 1543. This battle, fought near Lake Tana in Ethiopia, saw the forces of the Adwa Sultanate clash with a Portuguese-led Ethiopian army. The Adwa Sultanate, under the leadership of the formidable Imam Ahmad ibn Ibrahim al-Ghazi, known as Grag, had been pushing into Ethiopian territory. Ahmad's army consisted of around 10,000 Somali and Afghan troops. The Ethiopian army, bolstered by a contingent of Portuguese soldiers, numbered around 9,000. The battle was fierce, and Imam Ahmad was killed in action. While the Battle of Shire marked a turning point in the Adwa-Ethiopian conflict, ultimately leading to a resurgence of Ethiopian power, it initially showcased the Adwa Sultanate's military prowess and their ability to challenge Ethiopian dominance. The use of poison-tipped arrows by Ahmad's archers caused significant casualties among the Portuguese and Ethiopians, demonstrating the innovative tactics employed by the Adwa forces. Finally, we travel to the Gold Coast, modern Ghana, to witness the Anglo-Ashanti Wars and the story of the Golden Stool. In 1900, the Ashanti people, led by the warrior Queen Ashanti, rose up in rebellion against British rule. The British, seeking to consolidate their control over the Gold Coast, demanded the surrender of the Golden Stool, a sacred relic that symbolized Ashanti power and unity. Ashanti rallied her people with a stirring speech, urging them to defend their heritage. The Ashanti forces, numbering over 10,000 warriors, besieged the British garrison in Kumasi. The British, numbering around 1,200, were trapped for months, suffering significant casualties. While the British eventually broke the siege and captured Kumasi, the Golden Stool remained hidden. This resistance prolonged the conflict and demonstrated the Ashantis' unwavering determination to preserve their sovereignty. The story of Ashanti and the Golden Stool became a symbol of Ashanti resistance and continues to inspire national pride in Ghana. These battles, though separated by time and geography, share a common thread: the unwavering determination of African peoples to resist foreign domination and defend their sovereignty. They demonstrate that African history is not simply a narrative of colonial conquest. It is a story of resistance, resilience, and triumph against seemingly insurmountable odds. These victories may not always be widely known or celebrated, but their impact on the course of African history is undeniable. They serve as a reminder that African agency and resistance played a crucial role in shaping the continent's destiny. The echoes of Adwa, Isanwana, the Gun War, Shire, and the Golden Stool continue to resonate today. They inspire movements for social justice, self-determination, and Pan-African unity. They remind us that the fight for freedom and equality is a continuous struggle and that the spirit of resistance remains alive and well in Africa. Scene 1: Adwa, Ethiopia, rugged Ethiopian highlands at dawn, mist rising, no signs of modern development, cinematic 8K.